Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Di and today I am bringing you another knitting diary. I am going to be starting the City Limits Pullover by Tanis from Tanis Fiber Arts, and I thought I would try another knitting diary for you, especially because this is a bigger project and I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently this time. So it'll be different from the Ridgecrest Pullover knitting diary that I had put out, where I had taken clips throughout my entire knitting of that project and then combined them all into one longer video. I think I'm going to split this one up into several smaller videos and post them for you as I go. So I'll be definitely interested to know at the end of this which style you prefer on these types of videos. So anyway, like I said, I'm going to be starting the City Limits Pullover. This is a marled worsted weight faded sweater, and I believe it is also reversible, or it can be reversible if you'd like to wear it that way. So it is worsted weight, and you can either achieve that by using worsted weight yarn or 2 strands of fingering weight yarn and then marling it together. So that's what I have decided to do. I had put together a fade kind of a while ago when the pattern was on a free download special for a week, and I was going through all of my stash yarn and kind of put together a fade then, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. Something just bothered me about the very first color that I had decided would be at the neck area, and I just wasn't completely happy with it. It would have been fine. I showed it to my mom and my daughter, and they both thought it would be fine, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. It would have been okay if I had gone through with it, but I would have preferred that I had something that I was 100% happy with. So I decided to make a little yarn purchase. Just so happened that Lolo Did It was doing a sale on some of her fingering weight skeins a couple weeks ago, and so I decided to take a look, and she had a skein there that I thought would be perfect, and I think it's going to work really well. So I will show you the skeins that I have planned for my fade individually, and then I will try to show them to you all at the end. So the skein that I had thought that I was going to put in at the top was this one. This is the Lemonade Shop. I believe it's called Mermaid's Tail. So you can see there's blues and greens, magentas, purples. And it's really pretty. I've had this one in my stash for a couple years because I was going to do a faded sweater, but I just never got around to it because I wasn't completely happy with the fade that I had chosen. And you know, it is hard to order a fade, and at the time I didn't have a lot of fingering weight yarn in my stash. So this one's kind of been hanging out. You can see I had already skeined it up, caked it up, and so this is the one that I was going to put in. And it was the one that I wasn't completely happy with. So I bought this one. This is Lolo Did It. This is her plush sock, and it is in the color Diamond. It's from her Barely There collection. And as you can see, it's got some darker turquoise, some lighter turquoise, and even lighter still going into a white. And I just think this is going to work really well. So that's going to be the skein that I put in at the neckline. Then I have this skein. This is a Precious skein. from Kay at the Bakery Bears podcast. She's no longer dyeing yarn, but when she did dye yarn, I was lucky enough to be able to pick up one of these skeins in one of her shop updates. This is the Remus Lupin colorway. It's 365 meters. It is on her Bolton base, which is 80% superwash for merino, 20% nylon high twist. And as you can see, this one also has the turquoises, kind of a light gray, and it's just gorgeous. And this is a very special skein, like I said, because Kay's no longer dyeing yarn. And so I really wanted the project that I use this yarn to be extra special, which is just another reason why I wanted to be completely happy with the fade that I had chosen. So this is going to be the second skein going in. Did I tell you what the Lolo Did It base was? I told you it was her plush sock. But this one is 75% superwash merino, 15% nylon, and 10% tencel. So then I'm going to go into this one, which is a skein called 'Tis the Season. It is on the twist sock base by Ms. Monster Creations. This is 375 yards, but it doesn't say what her base is. I am pretty sure this one doesn't have nylon in it, but I'm not sure. It doesn't say on the tag. I do have it written down somewhere. But you can see this one has like the little hints of teal, and then there's like greens and kind of blues, kind of getting a little bit darker in there. So that's this one. Then I'm going to go into this one by Ms. Monster Creations, and this one is Salem. This is also on her twist sock base, 375 yards. Again, I don't have the fiber content, but this one has those greens from the previous skein and still has some flecks of turquoise in there. And so we're getting a little bit darker with this one as well. Then we're going to go into this skein right here. This is another Ms. Monster's Creations. This one's called Bruja, and it's on her twist sock base, 375 yards. Again, this one has the darker greens, darker teals, and some blacks. And yeah, I really think that's going to look great. And then for my sixth color, because the size that I am going to be doing requires a little bit more yardage, plus this fact that my skeins are not quite 400 yards, I'm going to put in this one, which is a Knit Pick Stroll Fingering in the tonal train station tonal. So that you can see is just black and dark gray, light gray. And because it's marled in sections, I think this is going to look really great. Obviously, there's no more greens anymore, but the skein before it had a lot of black in it. So I think moving into this one's going to be okay. And then lastly, because I still needed yardage, I am just going to go into straight black. This is Knit Pick's Chroma Fingering. It is a single. So of all of the yarns that I am going to be using for this is the only one that is not plied. But I think it's going to be okay. This is going to be the very last color, so at the very bottom of the sweater, and I think it's going to be fine. This one is 70% superwash wool, 30% nylon, 396 yards. Did I tell you? I'm so bad at this. The hand-painted stroll was 75% merino, 25% nylon, 462 yards. So obviously, because I have so many skeins that have different yardages, I needed to do a little bit of math in order to figure out how many rows of each color section I'm going to need. So this particular design has you take one color and use it and then fade it into another color and then fade it into another color. So there's different sections, and the number of sections that you do depend on your size and how much yardage you actually have of each skein. A lot of people are doing this as like a scrap kind of project, so they're just using what they have. Mine's aren't scraps, but I have different yardages for each skein, so I had to do a little bit of math to figure out how many rows per each, and I think I've got it down. So the next step is going to be swatching, and I'm going to confess to you right now, I am not going to do a swatch of all of the colors. I'm pretty sure this is going to work fine, and I'm happy with the colors that I've chosen, so I'm just going to go for it. Plus the fact that I am kind of short on some of the colors. I don't want to waste any of the yarn in order to do a full color swatch showing the fade. So I'm just going to swatch the very first color, which is the diamond color by Lolo Did It. Show it to you again, which is this one. Figure out my gauge and then go from there. So let me try to pick them all up in the order that I am going to knit them in, so that I can show you and you'll have a full visual of what it may possibly look like. Okay, so holding them all turned out to be a relatively difficult task, but I hope you can see them here. I think this is going to look really, really great. And so, yeah, I'm excited to start this project. And for my next video, I plan to show you my progress and maybe talk about how the fade is going. Hopefully, depending on where I am in the project when I get a chance to film next. So, yeah, that's all I've got for this part of this knitting diary. Let me know if you are planning to do one of these City Limits pullovers. Like I had mentioned in my latest Yarny update, I am doing this for the City Limits pullover cal that's being hosted by Pip and Pin and Hand Me My Knitting. Both of their channels are linked down in the description box below, so definitely check them out. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care. And smile always. Bye.